has that particular skill helped you as you're negotiating at the business table? You know, have you seen that fruitful in your current line of work?
Well, I've learned along the way. I have learned along the way, and and I'm still learning. You get jewels and tidbits from people here and there, and it's all about what you hold on to, and not when you get jewels and tidbits of stuff that people pour into you. It's all about what you apply, because if you don't apply it, it's just information. So
Who the hell is that at my door? I ain't expecting no company. Elba, go check that door.
Yes, ma'am. Mama, I don't know who that is.
Can I help you? What is going on out here?
Oh, my bad, Mama. That's my teacher.
That's your teacher?
Yeah.
I must be going crazy. You don't know your own teacher.
My bad.
How can I help you?
Well, my name is Dr. Lakeisha Menifee. They call me Dr. Kiki.
Okay.
I'm here to recruit Albert, who doesn't recognize me, for our rocketry program this summer.
Wait. Let me get this straight. School ain't even over with, and you already trying to get my baby to come to summer school for some rocket program?
Yes, you know, that rocket is going around the world from China, so we want to get our students to be involved in the rocketry program. And Albert is a good candidate because he seems to think that a missile and the rocket are the same thing.
Okay, but wait. It's kind of like the same thing when you think about it. They both,
So this is a conversation that you guys have had? This is information he's getting from you?
So I feel like you're trying to be slick. I tell you what, I might not know the difference between a rocket and a missile, but I know what a bullet look like.
Oh, I take that as a threat. I want to...
Take it how you want to take it.
I just want to advise you that I am from Acres Home. Okay, I just want to make that information known. At any rate, I want to invite you to the rocketry program. There was one at Booker T. Washington that was very successful. Mm-hmm. It can happen at a school. It can happen at a church. Wherever your child goes, for the summer, we can provide that. All you have to do is DM me through Facebook, through Instagram. I even have a card. You know, you can contact me with that information. Just DM me your email address, and I will make sure that you are added to our blitz that's going to go out. And there's even a way for it to be free.
Okay, baby. Listen. Okay, I'm going to do all that. So email you if you want your baby in the rocketry program.
That could be free. It could be free.
I'm going to let my baby in the rockets because I want him to excel to his high heights. And I'm going to do this for you just because I want it for my baby. And by me doing all this, what is in it for me?
You want it for your baby, but you also want to know what's in it for you.
Right.
Okay. One thing that's in it for you is that he can learn the difference between a missile and a rocket.
Oh, you better get the hell up out. Girl, bye.
All right.
I'll think about it.
Have a blessed day.
Yeah, you
God bless you.
I'm already blessed.
Okay. Hallelujah.
Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. Welcome to We Work Every Day. 7 days a week, cause we striving towards a better day. Don't cut me down for showing my true colors. Love me for me, cause I show love to others. This is for entrepreneurship, for Black Lives Matter. This is for the ones who are forgotten. I pray we never go backwards. This is for pushing forward in the face of adversity. Thank you, God, for protection when the world was cursing me. This is for strength, courage, and wisdom. They can't keep us in shackles. You're the one that could change the trajectory of those family matters. Be the first college grad, be the first millionaire. Be your own wildest dreams, cause the world ain't fair.
Welcome to another Workshop Wednesday with Dr. Kiki here. We have none other than Marion Stafford, also known as Blame the Comic. He has set the stage on so many platforms, winning so many contests in his art form. I've known Marion as a classmate, as a performer, as an educator, having been able to see his path continue to persevere during times of adversity and excelling to greatness. Also seeing him as a philanthropist, establishing a nonprofit to help underprivileged youth. And the name of this show is going to be called Perseverance, just because of the fact I myself personally have seen Blame continue his path. Knowing, just reading his story, seeing how it took him 8 years to finish up at the University of Houston, but not necessarily just for the passion of following his comedy and continuing on to be a teacher. And our paths crossed at Houston Community College. I was teaching a class and he was going on to complete his teacher certification. And I was like, so how long are you going to teach? And he was like, well, Keisha, I really want to do my comedy. And I was like, okay. And then the next thing you know, I'm buying a ticket to the 5 Degrees of Comedy, and he was performing on the stage. I just continue to support in any way I can because I just see the talent and just appreciate him coming on the show. So with no further ado, we want to welcome Blame and thank him for coming to another Workshop Wednesday. And we just want to ask for you to tell us about yourself and what brought you to this current work that you're doing in entertainment and in philanthropy, because you do support many causes in the Houston area. So why don't you just tell us what brought you to this place?
Well, I would say it all started back at Booker T. Washington High School when I was a young lad. At the lunch table, who knew that comedy would be my profession? But yeah, man, comedy is what I have chosen in life to do and pursue, and I'm happy I found it. I'm glad it's now a full-time job. It's a natural fit for me because although I do have my background in teaching and all that stuff, uh, I just feel like it was an easier way. It did take me a long time, as you said in my bio, 8 years to finish college. I'm supposed to be a doctor right now, but that didn't happen. I was just stroking along, I guess. But I also endeavored on a nonprofit that I was trying to start called Human for Hope Foundation that I've currently kind of set to the side at this particular moment. It had a lot of things that I was trying to do and trying to attach myself to bigger people to, push my career or get me out in the forefront of the masses and things like that. So, but what has brought me to comedy is just a love and a passion for what I love to do, the art form of making people laugh. I personally like to laugh on a daily basis, day in and day out, and it's just what I'm passionate about and what makes sense to me because they say you're supposed to work smarter and not harder, and for me, comedy is smarter.
Okay, so you said at the lunch table, So how did that happen at the lunch table? Give me an example.
Well, Keisha, us Booker T. Washington is a very colorful school. Used to be Old Color High, but that was probably before our time. But uh, it started with, ranking or joning at the lunch table, all that great stuff, just, showing that you had the chops to, you know, get a person off of you because, you had so many different type of characters that went to that school, from people that skipped class to people that were athletes, the people that were in the engineering program upstairs. Just, it was just all types of people. And sometimes you cross paths with different people and you get cool with people, and people always are judging you, no matter, what you got going on, or when you first meet them, people are always sizing you up. So you got to be able to be socially inclined to, fit in, but not to be, I guess, popular, so to speak. But you know just be, bring your own persona of who you are to it, and just be a person, a people person.
Has that particular skill helped you as you're negotiating at the business table? Have you seen that fruitful in your current line of work?
Well, I've learned along the way. I have learned along the way, and and I'm still learning. You get jewels and tidbits from people here and there, and it's all about, what you hold on to, and not when you get jewels and tidbits of stuff that people pour into you. It's all about what you apply, because if you don't apply it, it's just information. So I'm still learning. I still negotiate. I've learned from my good guy Marcus Wiley. I've learned from his road manager, Mr. Neil uh, Addison. And like I say, I'm just still a student of the art form, and just it's a continuous grind, almost like Nipsey Hussle say, it's a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. And every day, you know, some days may be uh, more work heavy than others, but every day I wake up with my mind on comedy.
What are some of the current challenges that you see in this era of entertainment? Um, Especially like with the current climate in terms of the coronavirus, COVID-19, and the new strand that's come out, and also identifying as an African American male in this current climate. So, what are some of those current challenges that you see amongst those two things?
Well, some of the current challenges, as we all know, a lot of people businesses are still shut down, or close to 50% or 25% capacity. It seems like they change it every other day on the news. You know what I mean? So some people are not really coming out. They don't want to risk it, and things are going virtual now. I'm doing a lot of different virtual shows online. I just booked one today, so super excited about that. A corporate virtual show. So uh, it's a challenge too, being virtual and doing shows online, because you know comedy is all about energy and the transfer of energy. And when you're behind this webcam, you have to give a little bit of more oomph to try to pass your entertainment and your comedy along, so it still resonate with the people on the other side of the screen. And just to try to relate and grab the people. One thing that I always say about this comedy is just, you know, your job is to just grab the people first and foremost. And once you grab them and you have them in your hand, you can feed them whatever you want to feed them. So, and then the other challenge is too is, you know, with the whole climate of coronavirus too, you know, you just have to be out here and try to be safe as you can. Make sure you mask up, you know, make sure you keep sanitizing your hands. If you got face shield, whatever you need to do to try to stay safe. My family and I, we have been lucky not to catch the coronavirus as of yet. And, you know, the other challenge is too, is that, you know, with the whole climate of police brutality and all that stuff, you gotta keep your head on the swivel and keep your eyes open and just try to stay out the way so that you don't become another statistic. I've here recently I've been trying to partake in a little bit of jujitsu just so I can have as a part of self-defense in case I ever encounter myself with a problem. Lord forbid I ever have to fight the police, but I want to be prepared. And what jujitsu does is it takes away the challenge of, you know, not the whole challenge, but a part of the challenge of being a victim to the hands of not just the police or someone else. Because what it does is it gives you a plan that that uh, that you can have if you find yourself in any type of situation where you get into a physical altercations. For example, if you're in a headlock or somebody comes up and bear hugs you, or if you find yourself on the ground and somebody's on top of you, like how do you get yourself out that situation? So that is where I'm at with my comedy. Uh, you know what I mean? Home virtually, my comedy out, my challenges as far as going out in the world trying to still do comedy, and my challenges as far as dealing with society as a black man here in America.
I never considered the jujitsu. That's something good for, especially as a female, to
Oh,
consider. And I have girls, and it's sad that you also have to train them to fight now, just as you have had to train your boys in the past. So I might consider enrolling us as a family in that.
yeah, they have online training. I'm doing all my stuff here online, here at the house. I actually made me a little dummy out of a jumpsuit that I have, and I just train. I bought me some mats, and I just do everything in here at the house online. And I just watch the tutorials, practice. I do like everything. They have it in slices, so it breaks it down in small components. And I do everything like 100 times just for like muscle memory. And then after I do that slice 100 times, I'll go to the next one. And then once I finish that one, I'll start and just kind of like review over the first one again before I move on to the next one. So I keep the repetitive nature of what I'm trying to learn and trying to embed in my memory so it becomes second nature.
Oh, that's really good information. I need to incorporate. And then it's also good physical activity, and it's safe because you're not in a class in the midst of others. So that's really good information. So I'll consider that. I'll talk to the girls about that. In regards to parenting, that leads us to the next question. What are some of the strategies that your parents used that allowed you to walk in the freedom and salvation of knowing that you are walking in your purpose? Because right now, all parents need to know how to encourage greatness. And I noticed in your comedy a lot, you talk about single mothers. This is what single mothers say to their children when they come home from school. And I always send it to my son. I say, who does this sound like, Junior? This is what single mothers say, So, like, what are some things that your parents, and I know you get a lot of inspiration from your mother, I can tell from your comedy. So what are some things that, your mom instilled in you for you to know that no matter what happens, I have to keep going. I have to follow my dreams. I have to do what I know I'm designed to do. What are those things?
Well, let me say this. I think this is my favorite topic because maybe this will help someone and, inspire someone, or they can learn from my experience. What I would say is one thing that my mama told me early on, and I can remember being in elementary school, is I remember when daylight savings time would come and it was almost time to get ready to go back to school, and it would still be daylight. Like, it didn't get dark till like 9, and I still see kids outside playing and stuff like that. And I remember peeking through my bedroom one day. One thing that my mom told me that always stuck in my head: you can't do what other people do. You do what I say do, and that's what you got to do. So if you remember that, I don't worry about trying to do what other people do. I do what I need to do for me and what works for me. And that always has kind of helped me out. And another thing that my mom always did is she always kept us busy. Always kept us with something to do, especially during the summertime when school was out. We was always at the Boys and Girls Club. Now, I don't know if that was just her keeping me busy or her getting some free time, but we was always at the Boys and Girls Club for the most part. So we wasn't around the neighborhood, just hanging out in the apartments, idle mind is a devil's workshop, looking for something to get into or trying to find something to get in trouble. Because as you know, boys won't be boys if they're not getting in trouble. You know what I mean? And I and myself, I guess we all grew up in a different area where we actually played outside. I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I actually grew up in Studewood, where it was fun to go outside and play basketball and do all these different type of things. And I think another thing also to achieve greatness, and this is, if you don't take nothing else from this video, whoever may be watching, is I want any parent, any woman who may have a son to hear this. A lot of times as young men, we get caught up in, especially kids from the suburbs and stuff like that, we get caught up with not being hood enough. And I done seen it happen on many occasions. People who come from well-to-do parents or have a mother who has a good job. What happens is these kids come from a good home and they hang around kids that I won't say a bad influence, but they just, you know what I mean? They haven't been taught or haven't had the right guidance. And what happens is that the kids from the suburbs don't feel that they hood enough. And what they don't realize is that the kids from the suburbs downplay themselves to fit in with the kids that come from maybe a poor area, but not realizing at the same time that the kid from the poor area is really trying to get to where he's at in the suburbs. So what happens is you have a cross paths that usually ends with the kid in the suburb getting in trouble to try to fit in, or feeling like he's not hood enough or black enough because he's not poor. But you got to realize that you can't make that mistake, because the kids that you hanging around, they actually want to be in your shoes. And if they could switch places with you in a heartbeat, they would. So, you just got to remember to tell your kids, don't be a fool. You got a head start. You got a head start. And if you can, and you can help your friend, pull your friend up and share some experience, and that's your buddy. But don't be out here being silly and not thinking and being instinctive and getting yourself out here in trouble, because, Another little cliche phrase: trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of. So, you just want to know that you're doing the right thing, focus on what you got going on, and, just keep pushing. And it'll help you to, get to the places that you want to be. And, keep you a mentor. I had a mentor coming up. I don't think I probably would have been where I am today if I didn't have a mentor kind of throughout college, and somebody that was just kind of to help me with lack of motivation and stuff like that. I used to personally tell myself, which is funny, that, I only got to get 60 hours of college. I can be a police or a firefighter or a paramedic. And I was like, if I don't make it, at least I know I can go do that. You know what I mean? And that's something that's respectable as a first responder, something like that. But then after I got those 60 hours, I told myself, you know what, if I'm gonna have to pay back these student loans, I'm gonna get that piece of paper. I got to get that piece of paper. I'm not gonna be paying those student loans and I ain't got this paper. So I eventually finished and got my teaching certificate to become a special education teacher, which was EC through 12, early childhood through the 12th grade. Did that for a couple of years, and it was just a push. It was just sometimes, I got the, sometimes you get an opportunity to go into what you really want to go into. And when that time came, I just kind of took advantage of it. And here I am now as a stand-up comedian.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Continue to support Workshop Wednesday and continue to encourage all those that you see to press forward during this time. Thank you for tuning in. Dr. Kiki signing out. Stay tuned on next week where we will bring you more of H-Town's finest. Take care. God bless.
This is for strength, courage, and wisdom. They can't keep us in shackles. You're the one that could change the trajectory of those family matters. Be the first college grad. Be the first millionaire. Be your own wildest dreams, cause the world ain't fair. I am the greatest. I am the one.